Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha Izundu if you haven't been here before, and if you have, welcome back. I'm here for a Kaleidos Fresh Fantasy Collection review, but I have to tell you before I continue. This is my third attempt to film this video. I filmed this video a month ago, no microphone on. I just filmed this 20 minutes ago. And I did the same exact thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it again. But I'm going to do it. I've just washed my face and moisturized again. And we're going in for a third time. And, you know, as I say, third time's a charm, and it better be. I've got my microphone on. I've got my record button on. So hopefully I haven't messed this up. Let's get into it. This is now a month-long review. I've been using these products for the whole month. And so I'll give you my honest thoughts about longevity, quality, what my first impression is versus my impression now. So let's go. Okay, so from the collection, I bought one palette. I bought 3 products essentially. And then I bought 2 just from Kaleidos, not in that brand new collection. I bought the Tone Activator Eye Primer. I've been really wanting to try this. So I have been absolutely loving it. You need the tiniest bit. And then I'll do both eyes. And there's a little bit of a tint to it, but it's quite sheer, so it would be good for anywhere from fair to medium. One bit of feedback I would have is for the company to bring out a deep dark shade, because this one could go to medium in my opinion, because it is quite sheer. But I feel like this would show up on darker skin tones because there is just that slight tint. I think a second one would be a great addition to their products. But I absolutely love this. It goes on like a sheer cream. It dries down to a natural finish. It's not matte, and it just takes the discoloration away, which I absolutely love. And it does work. It performs, which is what you really want to know. It does perform. It makes your eye makeup last longer all day, and I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. That's all I have to say. Okay, so let's go straight into the eyeshadow palette. And you can see I've done my eyebrows as well. I forgot to mention that, and some concealer. But here we have the palette. Oh, I always do it the wrong way. So here. And we're just going to go right in. I'm just going to let you know that this is very much a topper. And then this one here is definitely a proper pigmented shimmer, but the other one is very light and sheer, but still stunning as a eyeshadow topper. I'm going to go in with this shade here, this lightest brown, and I absolutely love this shade. It's more of a sheer wash, but it's blendable, it's not patchy, and it's just stunning as like a one and done kind of shade, if that's what you like. Even this with just the really light glitter topper for a really soft but beautiful ethereal look would be so pretty. So you can just see how it just blended really easily, but it is on the lighter side, but I like that as a transition shade. I don't want anything too heavily pigmented, and I really like how this blends out and looks on the eye. Then I'm going to go in with the darker shade right here. I forgot to mention, because I mentioned this just in my previous video, I threw out all the packaging because I thought the video was good to go, and I don't hold on to packaging, I throw it out. And so I don't have anything, I don't even have the name sheet. I'm going to do more of a halo eye in this video, because the other one, I just did a typical, but I want to try something different now. And I'm going to do this on this side and just a little bit on the inner corner. The look that I'm doing now, I'm not going to put on my Instagram. I did a whole photo shoot with the first video I did. So if you want to check out my Instagram, I kind of do a little bit more edited looks on there. Not like over edited, but yeah, you know, like the lighting and things like that. So if you want to check out my looks that I do, I have that all over on my Instagram, which is linked down below. So this brown I absolutely love as well. You can see how easy it is for me to blend. I'm really sorry if you can hear my daughter. She's awake. She's in her crib. She just refuses to sleep. Makes it very hard for me to film when she doesn't sleep. Like, I'm getting one video out a week at the moment because I just don't have any time at all. I'm trying to do this again. Before she was asleep, but now she's not, so I try and do it as quickly as I can. But yeah, this shade is absolutely stunning, blends easy. You can just see, you can see how gorgeous it is. I'm gonna go in with the darker purple. This is the one shade I do not like. Look at this, watch this. The fallout is insane. It's patchy. I'm gonna do this very lightly because I don't love this shade. It's patchy and it's a little bit too sheer. There's a difference between sheer and then just patchy. The pigment's not here, and I actually like lighter pigments, but it's just, this shade does not perform. But then we'll go in with the lighter purple, which I absolutely love. It is still on the sheerer side, but it's still blends, it's smooth, so it's still sheerer, it's not heavily pigmented, but it still performs a lot better than the other purple. I do really like this shade. I think, you know, in the future when I use this palette, not that I will never use that darker purple, but I think this purple is so much nicer, I will just stick to using this one. We've also got to consider purples are very hard to do, but companies have achieved doing purple well, so it's almost like it's not an excuse anymore. Now, these two glitter shades, this one I would recommend only with your finger, and then this one here can be brush or finger. I prefer with glitters to use my finger. I just think it looks so much nicer. I will show you with a brush the darker one that has more pigment. We're gonna do that. Yeah, nah. I mean, it would technically work, but the fingers just look so good. You can even see on my finger how pretty it is. So we're gonna just do that all over the middle part of my lid. It's honestly the star of this shade. It's just the most beautiful color. Oh my God, it's so pretty. It just makes this whole look go from a 7 to a 10. And then with my pinky, I'm gonna go in with that lighter one. Very much a topper shade, very pretty. And we're just gonna go over the top, just to give it that extra dimension right in the middle. Oy. You know, if you've been umming and ahhing about this palette, if you love glitters more than mattes, I do recommend this. Honestly, out of the 6, 5 are good. So it's not like this is a horrible palette, but that should, you know, this purple here is supposed to be a really main shade and it just doesn't perform compared to this one here. So for that, it's not my favorite eyeshadow palette I've ever used. I've never used other Kaleidos eyeshadows before, so I can't compare. All the other shades I love, and the glitters, 10 out of 10. They're absolutely stunning, but I just can't give you my full recommendation because of that one shade, but I love this palette. I'm just gonna quickly finish my eyes and then we'll move on to the contour palette. Okay, so daughter's right next to me, having some lunch. Aren't you, doll? Hey, babe. Okay, let's continue on with my contour. We have the Charisma Contour Palette, and I got Cool and Light, which is the lightest one in the collection. And we have a powder, under eye powder, contour, and then bronzer. So before I go into the quality of this, the layout bothers me a little bit. I think the packaging is gorgeous, but the actual size of the pan is a little bothersome to me. So I've got a tiny little contour brush here and it's still too big for this rectangle pan. My recommendation would be to keep this and then have smaller squares rather than rectangles. I can understand why they've done it this way for the compact of it. However, you just can't get your brush in there successfully. So for that, it doesn't get a 10 basically. The actual formula is a 10. The actual formula is, it's really, really finely milled to the point where it feels silky. And for that, it makes it very easily blendable, but it's not overly pigmented, which is, in my opinion, perfection. I don't like over pigmented products in anything really. Because it's so finely milled, the under eye powder is not cakey, but it just sets really well. And this shade here is not too dark for fair skin tones. This is the perfect cool toned contour shade. And then this is a neutral shaded bronzer. So for fair skin is just perfect because it's not going to come up orange. So let's get into it. I'm going to get a little bit of the contour powder. No fallout. It's really, really well formulated. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like almost creamy. It's so soft. So I'm just going to do a little bit where I would normally, which is right here. Just give myself a cheekbone. And I love a contour. Good quality contour can change the face if you do have like chubby cheeks, or if you just want to be a little bit extra snatched. So remember, I'm going over with a bronzer. But you can see how cool toned it looks here, but on fair skin, it still looks a little warm. It's quite interesting how contour works in my opinion. And then I always do a little bit here. And we've got this mirror, which is fantastic as well. It's actually a very good size mirror for the size of the product. Just a little bit there to warm up the face. And then I'm going to go in with my bronzer brush, which is my BH Cosmetics. I don't know what number, it's all rubbed off. And then I'm just going to go in here. Perfect compact for on the go travel, staying on a night over in a hotel, because you've got all three in one. So I do love the size of it. I just don't love the shape of the pans. Do you see what I'm saying? It'd be good if I showed you what I'm doing, hey? And I love how this is not heavily pigmented. You can see how natural this is looking on me, but it's still warming up my face. It's just such a delightful bronzer contour situation. And I need to still use the powder, don't I? Yeah, I'm just loving it. I just think it looks beautiful. And then with the powder, I'm going with a tiny little brush because I'm just going to do under eye. We're going to use this top shade here. It's just really pretty and silky. And when I first saw it, I thought it would be too dark because I need my under eye to be quite light. But it's actually quite fine. It's quite translucent. And you could definitely go in and use this powder all over your face. But I think because of the size of it, it is designed to be more under eye, but I could be wrong. I don't do too much powder anyway. I'll just do a little bit in my T-zone. I feel like it's not matte, it's not radiant. It's really just quite a natural finish. It's definitely one of my favorite products that I've recently purchased. It's just such an easy, no fuss, know it's going to work kind of product. Okay, let's go right in. I'm just going to quickly do some blush. I'm using the Lime Crime Software Blush in Petal JPG. Next product I bought is not from the Fresh Fantasy Collection, but it is from Kaleidos. And I've been wanting this bad boy for a while. It is the Moon Cruiser Space Age Highlighter. So this is got a reflect of pink and blue and purpley. It is absolutely stunning. I'll show you a swatch. Oh my god, it is just one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. It's definitely one of those ones I find the more you buff in, the prettier it gets. So let me see if we can get the different, look, it actually disappears and then you're like bam, and then it disappears. So can we kind of see, I'm not sure if it's picking it up, but there's pink shift to blue. This is one of my nighttime colorful makeup kind of highlighters. So I'm going to go in with my Mecca Max highlighter hitter. Beautiful highlighter brush, highly recommend. And I'm really going to buff it in because it does look quite glittery at first, but when you turn, you just really see it come through. And I didn't even put a lot on the brush. A little bit goes a long way with this. I'm gonna use the excess on my nose. because I don't want to have a blue nose. Just want a little bit of shine. There we go. This is another massive hit. I can't fault this highlighter. I don't have anything bad to say about this highlighter. It's definitely, it's not an everyday highlighter, but that's why I got it. I think it's so cool. It's like icy, but it's not, it doesn't have a white cast to it. It's very much a proper highlighter in that you can only see it when you turn. Because here in the pan it looks super white, but it's not. Last product. Very excited, aren't we, Ivy? I'm gonna quickly line my lips. I've just got a gloss from the collection, but I just want a little very subtle, natural line. There we go. Very ever so slight. Okay, so we have the Lucid Lip in Dramatize, which was from the Fresh Fantasy Collection. Now, I would never have purchased this because it looks reddy orange, which to me is not suiting this eye. However, when I saw Angelica, is it Nyqvist? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not too sure. The indie colourful makeup guru here on YouTube. She put this on her lips, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I have to get this. It looks totally different on the lips. So it still has a slight red tint, but it's so natural and sheer. I am obsessed. It's actually got like pink and orange and gold glitter in it, but it's ever so fine. And it just actually complements this whole look. And I would never have thought that just looking at this in the tube. But once it's on, so I can build it up a little bit, it's just got that sheerest tint, but it's just enough to give your lips color without it looking like it's a red lip. Overall, my thoughts. In the whole, everything that I bought, including, you know, the things that aren't part of the collection but are Kaleidos, it's still related. I loved absolutely everything. The only thing I have to say is that darker purple single shade in the Lunar Lavender palette. It's not great. I can appreciate the other colors are softer, which I actually personally love, but they were blendable and they went on really well. They weren't patchy. So the fact that the purple was patchy just kind of made it seem like it didn't fit in with the other formulas. So for that, I would say not my favorite eyeshadow palette, but the other shades were phenomenal, especially the two glitters. Absolutely hit it out of the park they did with those two glitters. I don't have any quite like them. They're very special in my collection. So for that, I don't regret buying this palette. I totally love that I bought it. But just to keep in mind, the purples are not the highest standard I've ever used before. But other than that, absolutely incredible. What is my favorite product? I actually think it's this. I think this, when I made my purchase, this was what I was most excited for, and it lived up to my expectation. I had a high expectation and it really lived up to it. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. If you like my content and want to see my face again, hit the subscribe button. And other than that, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.